What
I'm
did
the
you
ultimate team guy.
What did you just say?
I'm the ultimate team guy. I don't care.
You said, "Do I ever care?" Why is your
Yeah.
phone? Why are you getting 100 texts this morning already?
It's like I haven't really received any messages the last few days, and all of a sudden they're just hitting.
What the heck?
It's Facebook Messenger messages,
Oh gosh!
prayer group,
Better cut
all
that
kinds.
off. What's
It
up,
was. It does.
Yep.
No.
Hey, say hey to
I
your
don't
family.
know.
Say hello to all your peoples.
Who's people?
Well, we're supposed to be on live. I don't know if we're on live or not. Yeah, it says we're live. Are you live?
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Is it gonna be another one of them days, brother?
Man, we're going to give God the glory, even if it is one of them days.
We're on. We're on. Good grief. Yeah. My
You know
camera
why?
today. Does it look grainy to you?
Uh-uh.
It doesn't. It looks grainy on YouTube. It's probably
It
the
looks like
it's probably
living La Vida Loca, son.
the you know what I'm talking about.
Like you living your life.
Mm. Oh, so how was youth group last night?
I think it was good. We found out where some of the kids are about certain issues, as far as what they know, what they don't know.
Yeah.
So it's my fault for assuming that they all come up in church and are at a certain level.
Yeah. You got a lot of kids that have not come up in church
Yeah,
at all,
which is
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's great that. Um, hey, we are live.
Well,
Good
yeah.
morning, family.
It's gonna be delayed. I can tell you that. That's for whatever reason. It's gonna be a short delay. But anyway, so you got a lot of kids that did not grow up in church and all that kind of jazz.
But it's okay, you know.
Yeah, it is okay for sure. Better be okay. Hey, you know
It's
what?
good.
Hmm?
What?
You know what today is?
Bracket day?
Yep. And it's also sunny and set. Going to be 74 today.
Well, it's also some slow traffic out there, so mind your business when you're driving.
Yeah, I
Hey,
got.
so
Go ahead.
no, I would say, man, we need to be sure we send everybody's brackets to jump on the ZLA site.
So we need. Hold on. Let me pull that up. You keep talking and tell them what to do, and I'll put it in the comments.
Yeah, so man, it got confused. It was so confusing. People sending us brackets. We didn't. We were behind the game. We were behind the eight ball, and ESPN had some issues yesterday too. So um, instead of doing our own private one for Kapow for ZLA always does theirs. So we put it up yesterday, right? You posted it yesterday, Jeff?
I'm looking for it. It's supposed to be on there.
Yeah. To click over and jump on. Um, Man, these messages have got to stop.
All right. So I'm gonna put the link in the comments, but it's on the page there too. But yeah, go ahead and finish telling them what that was.
So go ahead and for the ones who don't follow the page throughout the day, jump on this, get your entries in. Have to be done before 11:30. So like somebody reach out to Carson Butler, somebody reach out to Suzanne Weatherwax, some other people that are going to put brackets out. It's in the comments of this show. Click on it, get your bracket in, and it's a free opportunity to win some money.
Hey, I see a comment there from Ms. Hams or, or,
Uh-huh.
or Mr. Hams, whichever one. Check out the Jet stats.
His stats.
Yeah, he's at the checkup at the doctor,
Oh,
rolling in. See, check it out.
6'7".
God,
Hey, this little dude is Amazonian. There ain't
hey,
no question.
how you gonna
The
be
big old boy.
7? Listen, we need to go ahead and sign him to a contract. Be agents.
NIL.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, he's gonna take some of that Kapow NIL money.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he could take some of that East Gadsden money away from some other company. So maybe.
Hey.
Oh, just trying to sing today, Jerry. Man, I cannot believe today is going to be 74 degrees, and you and I are not going to be playing golf.
Well, we have some business to attend to. We're blessed to be able to do this morning show for one, right?
You see, I messed with Mark, and he finally commented.
No,
What's up, baby? He said DJ Jazzy Jeff Big Jer in the house.
and does it get any better? You know, he was robbed last night.
He was robbed,
Robbed.
like at gunpoint.
Almost. He was at the well, I'm totally off that screen there. He was at the FNN award banquet for
There's
high
your
school
problem,
football.
first of all.
What is it?
I said that's your problem, first of all.
Yeah, yeah. When you happen to go with a company with not, they don't have integrity. That's what happens. Uh, and so the Moody coach won the Coach of the Year. How does Marco Bryant not win the Coach of the Year?
That's ridiculous. How far did Moody go in the championship series?
Kevin Moore would know because that's Kevin Moore's favorite team.
Wow. Wow. So Kevin,
Hey,
up from dude, you're on one today.
yeah. So,
Up from Asheville to
what?
he's jumped from Asheville to Moody.
Yeah, that never happened. He'll cut his arm off before he'd root for Moody. So again, hey, send that out there. Everybody, jump on the link in the comments. Put your brackets in right there. Put your brackets in there. Hey, what up, Samuel Ray? Coach, get ready because the Jet's going to be 6-7. I'm just saying. Yeah, Marco Bryant should have won the Coach of the Year without question. It should not have been close.
No, man. No. Who determines that? Is that something that FNN determines on their own, or is that something?
Well, yeah, I think they have a two-way. I think they have a fan vote for certain things, and I think they have. I don't know who comes up with the rest of it. It's a very democrat process.
Well, their footprint is more prominent in that area.
It is. What is Rainbow City that far from Moody?
There's not that many people going to vote in Rainbow City that watch FNN. They're not.
I know that Moody didn't want to play Coosa Christian.
That's what I heard.
That's what I know.
That's what you know. You know why?
I know. Why? Because they got the Coach of the Year, Marco Bryant.
That's right. Right here, you heard it first. The Coach of the Year, the Kapow Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Coach Marco Bryant.
Hey,
guess what you
sorry,
get?
traffic. We got some red, Jeff. I'm sorry, red traffic.
Where?
In Southside.
Oh well.
Southside is red. Everything else in those cloggy areas are a few yellows, but there's red in Southside, and there's red on 411. There's some construction going on, so pay attention. Slow it down.
Well,
Slow it down.
I heard that the reason there's traffic in Southside is people are moving out to go with Coach Miles. What I heard. Or move to Coosa. Or coming over to Rainbow City.
Rainbow City High School coming to you soon.
Man, oh man.
It's going to be one of them shows, bro.
Man, I'm looking at some of these little stories on here. We don't have enough time in the day to cover the stories that are dropping right now. If you guys want to have a busy news day, just get online and look because it is insane right now. There's so much crap going on in this city, in this world. Gosh.
Hey, Jeff, will you tell Blake Matthews to go into the comments and post his bracket in that for ZLA?
Post it in the comments.
Click the link in the comments and instead of texting me the bracket.
You want me to tell Blake or text him?
Well, he's texting me and messaging me. My phone's going crazy. I'm just verbalizing it.
Let me tell him.
Hey, let me go to a news cycle for a second, which is different because normally this is your world. The news is your world, right? I'm just a squirrel trying to get a cashew. News is your world.
Okay.
So Governor of Alabama,
Yep.
Mimo Ivey, signs the bill barring diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the state of Alabama. Right? Why'd you tense up?
I know where you're going, and it's going to be fun. So I'm glad it's recorded.
It's here's my issue. Ever since it's been a thing, and I understand there is bias in the world, right? I understand there's racism in the world, not as prevalent as most people, I think, politically try to make it that way to divide people, right?
Right.
But if if I'm a business owner and I'm hiring for a business and I've hired thousands of people, I want the best person. I've never been a fan of, hey, you're getting a job because you're Muslim, you're black, you're a woman, you're Jewish, you're a fat white man from Atala.
Oh.
That's not how I'm hiring, right? I want the best people, regardless. Right. So I've never been a fan of this whole, it's a diversive concept, in my opinion. But what they call it, the DEI?
DEH or something like that? Is that what it is? DEI, DEH? It's some bullcrap.
Yeah, DEI. So, and this says, my administration has and will continue to value Alabama's rich diversity. However, I refuse to allow a few bad actors on college campuses or wherever else for that matter to go under the acronym of DEI, using taxpayer funds to push their liberal political movement counter to what the majority of Alabamians believe, Ivey said in a statement. Speak to that, Jeffrey Underwood.
Well, so what does it mean? I'm trying to get to that story again. I lost it. I was reading about Mike Shula.
I'm reading it on ABC 3340 News is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Somebody sent it to me, so I don't have the whole thing. I just have the...
I see the headline here on Fox News. Alabama mayor silent as anti-DEI bill signed after saying he had advised black athletes to go elsewhere if this bill is passed. And an Alabama mayor would tell black athletes and parents to seek other colleges and universities outside the state if lawmakers passed the anti-DEI bill, silent with officials. Birmingham Mayor Randall Wood, well, he's a piece of garbage anyway, but you can't even balance your budget there, big guy. Ban diversity. So what this is saying is she signed it stating that we're going to hire the best candidate, right? Is that my understanding?
Well, yeah. Well, this is also it's about the way I'm taking this. I don't have the full article. I got a snippet someone sent me, so I don't have the full article. So I may be adding some stuff in here. Part of this also led to discussions of you can't have and Matt Butler spoke to this. The sexual orientation or gender identity or displaying pride flags in classrooms up to the 12th grade. So that's part of this, as Matt Butler spoke about, state representative.
I see some of the things that are attached to it. It says DEI programs and discussions are still allowed on campuses as long as they do not use state funds. So these programs and certain things can be allowed on state campuses. They just cannot use the state of Alabama's money for these programs.
Well, let me say this. I've always been against someone not getting a position because of color. You're not getting hired because you're a female. You're not getting, none of that to me should, and maybe I'm just ignorant, and it's okay, put it in the comments, Terry's ignorant. I don't see the world like that. I never have. And when I was, making all the hiring decisions, none of that it didn't matter. I mean, I hired females to do jobs in a mostly male field. And some of the best technicians I had in the installation field,
right?
Ladies were incredible. I hired ladies of color. I hired different religious beliefs than me. Not that any of that came up during the interview process, right? It's just it's supposed to be the best people, the best. So, but if you are certainly not hiring because of those things, and I'm sure there probably are some situations, Jeff, where um, there's some kind of discrimination going on.
Yeah.
I despise discrimination on any level.
Yeah. Without question. I mean, it says the concepts including teachings persons inherently responsible for their actions committed in the past. You and I are. Everybody should be. And bad things, right? When you do certain things that are not going to help, if you do something that's not going to help mine in your business, we're not going to hire you, right? Right. But again, we're not going to mess or look at and worry about your sexual orientation. We're not going to worry about your religion. We're not going to worry about your race. We don't care what your gender is. We're not even going to ask those questions, and that's why I get frustrated when you look at these different apps that we do now, or these forms that we have to fill out. It has all of these different genders. Look, it should just be what you're assigned at birth, and that's it. And okay, no one needs to know. You know, when I'm going in for a medical procedure, I want them to know that I'm biologically a male. You know, I want them going in when I'm hiring the best doctor for me, the best cardiologist or the best psychiatrist or whatever. I don't want to interview them and them based off of any other circumstance other than are they the best fit for me and for what I've got going on. And when you're being hired or you're being or you're receiving state funds, I also don't want to be indoctrinated or my family being indoctrinated. Let me just be clear. I don't want my kids indoctrinated by certain so-called Christian churches. I'm just going to be honest. Myself and Chris Walker and a handful of others were instrumental in helping Chris start First Priorities in all Etowah County schools where we're at in the 90s. And that was great because all the churches seemed to be on the same page as far as pushing the gospel and no agenda. But you can't say that now, man. We're in 2024 and we have churches that are preaching false gospels. And I don't even know if I want my kids involved in Bible clubs, so-called Bible clubs ran by certain churches on campuses. I'm telling you. What are your thoughts about that?
Man, are we going to talk about that story?
Yeah, I've got it if you want me to play it.
I think we do. And again, everyone knows I'm in for a good joke, right? I will poke fun. I will, right?
True.
That's who I am.
Yeah.
I can also take it, right? You can come back at me. I can take it. It's fine. It's all in good fun, right?
Sure.
But this is serious. So if you want to play, this is a clip, Jeff. You want to set the clip up, and we'll go from there.
Well, Jerry and I talk on and off through the day. Everybody knows that, and that's what you and I do. We just kind of talk. Something hits, or a story drops, or something fun, especially something funny. We communicate constantly, nonstop. And then when our wives get home, we take a pause, put the phones down, and until they start picking their phones up, then we go, okay, we can pick our phones up. You know that.
We're good,
right? But I was watching. I'm a podcast guy. I watch a lot of podcasts, and thank God for video because a lot of these podcasts are putting their video on Spotify and their videos on YouTube. So I'm watching this, and we're big on false teachers, right? We're not for them. We're big on watching them and making sure that so-called Christians are saying the right thing. But this clip right here I sent it to you yesterday without any words. I just sent it to you. And I need people to understand we're not anti-Church of the Highlands, so to speak. We love many, many people that go there.
right?
Because there's many, many people that go there. But when this is said, we'll play it and then we'll break it down if that's cool. Our mics are not muted, so don't get frustrated when I play it, okay? Just keep it silent to yourself.
Next, is Church of the Highlands in Alabama with Pastor Chris Hodges. Check this out.
The one that you serve is distracted by that which is lost. So I hope this doesn't hurt your feelings, but this is an absolute fact. And that is, he looked down from heaven and saw this beautiful group of people worshiping him, and then his eyes went right back to the world that's lost. He just kind of took a peek and like, oh, that's nice. And
so Jesus doesn't care about his bride? What?
Look at Cam Newton.
What? What a load of nonsense. I mean, 75% of the New Testament was written to the church, to instruct us, to call us to him, to call us to repentance, to help us to know Christ more. His concern for the church is massive. Not like what Chris Hodges spews. But here he is saying that we need dreams and visions to help guide us in our spiritual life. Ooh, boy.
And watch this. This is very critical. That dreams and visions, or the level of them in your life, is key to your own personal success.
Said no verse ever. This man twists scripture and literally preaches a man-centered nonsense message, which is why he has one of the biggest churches in America. And pastors, according to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2, are to preach the word, not tell stories, not water down and sugarcoat things or give little antidotes, not at all.
So now people can say that you guys are taking that clip out of context. We're not. That's the Real Talk podcast. You can go on there and just type in Real Talk on YouTube. One of the tops, it's there. This guy's really good. He's kind of like you and I. I mean, he's kind of the real deal, and doesn't think a whole lot of himself. He just he comes in from coaching or doing his thing, and he's sweaty and sits down. He does a show. But he's right. 75% of the New Testament is written to the church, right? We look at the church at Ephesus. We look at the church at Philippi. We look at the church at Rome. We look at Colossae. We look at Thessalonica. We look at all of those different churches. And so it's written to the so-called believers. And dreams and visions are great, right? But when it's not backed up by the Word of God, you have a problem. And dreams and visions are not critical to your spiritual growth. It is not. It is not. The Word of God is the only thing that is critical to your spiritual growth. So when we say that, when we put mysticism or fantasy into our Christian growth, it's not real sustainable Christian growth. And so I'm glad that somebody's finally calling that out, and it steps on a lot of toes, and that's going to frustrate a lot of people, but sorry.
Well, this is a very opinionated show, yeah, because we have a lot of fun. But when it comes to the Word of God, our opinion does not matter.
No.
Right? We don't give you an opinion. We give you Scripture. And I'm not willing to, indict the guy altogether.
No.
I've read a couple of his books. I thought very, very good. I've seen a few
on leadership, right? Not theology.
On leadership. No, on leadership, right? On leadership. And I've heard a couple of his messages that Joey Statham sends me. Very, he's a great orator. So I'm not willing to condemn him on this one, but he's obviously in the wrong here, right? And I don't know when this was from. I don't know if he's came back out and corrected his statements. I don't know any of that, right? I have this one clip. By this one clip, he should be ashamed of himself.
To put it in context, what's happening is he's speaking about the congregation where he's at, whether it's church or it's a conference. He's stating that we're not as important to God as we think we are. And I make that statement a lot,
sure,
but not in this context. And so he says God's focused on the lost. He's focused on the lost in the world, right? And so he hears these people over here worshiping, glorifying his name, and he turns his attention for about 60 seconds and then turns back. And for him to say that that's gospel truth is absolute false, because that's...
And he did say that.
He did say that. He said this is an absolute fact. That's not true. The truth is, God is omniscient. God is, that means a churchy word. real quick, we'll move past this, but omniscience is a churchy word for God knows all, right?
Yeah.
He knows all, and he sees all, and then omnipresent is God's everywhere at all times. So God's focus is not just on the world, it's not just on the church, it's on all. And so he doesn't give entire focus to one or the other. But when he says that God's focus is primarily on the world, and then we look and see that 75%, maybe a little more than that, of the New Testament is written to the body, I have a big problem with that. And then when he states that we must grow, our dreams and visions are critical to our spiritual growth, that's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible, and that's dangerously towing the line to being somewhere that we shouldn't be.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say about that. So you told me this morning to have it ready.
Yeah, because I think that's something that we should bring up. Again, we're not here to bash, but if that's obviously that's what he said. And thank you, Real Talk, for bringing all this out all the time. And he doesn't just pick on Pastor Chris Hodges. So don't think
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, don't think that. But I'm curious to see what the Church of the Highlands people that watch us, and there's several, see what they think about that. I'd love to have their comments. I wonder what Pastor Mark O'Brien. Well, I always call him Pastor in there.
He's just laughing. He's just LOLing. That's all he's doing right now.
Yeah, Coach Mark O'Brien will have an opinion. I want to see what Buddy O'Brien's opinion is. That's the one that'd be good.
We've gone quiet on our comments. Usually we're 30, 40, 50, 60 comments, and they have grown quiet on this. And I'm sorry, right? I mean,
it's time to move on.
I've said from the pulpit the word sucks, and I've got reprimanded for it, and rightfully so, right? I mean, nobody wants their child to hear that. And most of our kids are going to a children's church at one of the campuses, so they're not hearing that, right? Jerry has said some words.
You mind your business.
But doctrinally, we guard our theology heavily. And we surround ourselves with people that help us guard our theology. And I think you get to a point in ministry where, especially, he's one of the 3 largest churches in the United States, right, with over 20 campuses, 36,000, 32,000 people based out of Alabama. There comes a point where you get so large in your ministry, you're untouchable. And I never want to be that. I would love to have a 30,000 member church, but when you preach like we preach and we're Bible guys, that usually doesn't happen, right? But you got to get to the point where you be at a state in your life where you have people hold you accountable. You can't tell me in a church of 30,000 people there are not people like Joey Statham's that are in there, because there are right here in Gadsden that have an open door policy to go, hey, Pastor Chris, bro, I'm not going to openly get on you, but I'm just saying that's not right, and what you said is not right, and we probably need to fix that. Is there a way that you can come out and fix what you said? Because it goes against everything that Scripture teaches. And when you got people like Joey Statham that love the Lord, that are solid in their faith, that are solid in their walk, when Chris is at the recording campus, where he does all his recordings, who's able to go talk to him?
Yeah, I don't know, but I know you use the word untouchable. Sean Combs said T.D. Jakes not untouchable. Oh, sorry.
Dude, when you start to say, give me a signal, like touch your ear to let me know, don't drink a drink of your Diet Dr. Pepper when I'm finna say because you're going to spit it out.
Sorry. Hey, is it possible to pin that link to the top so we don't lose it?
The link to
the ZLA bracket.
I'll try.
Please.
Sure.
Blake, Suzanne, Carson, Butler. That's the link. Hey, Samuel Ray will be at the dentist with his baby girl.
We dropped so many viewers that their rear ends got so tight talking about Chris Hodge. They just dropped off. Like, I'm talking in droves. Right now, we went from 7. Oh my gosh, we dropped off 7 on YouTube already. That
We're down to 5 watching on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, let's get back to doing what we do. And
all right, so let's talk brackets.
Do what now?
Let's talk brackets. Who you like in your NCAA bracket?
Well, there's several teams that I like, and when you made a statement, I guess it was yesterday, we were talking about brackets, and I said, "What's a sleeper team?" Was it yesterday we talked about that?
I think it's the day for yesterday. I don't know.
Do what now?
Within a couple of days.
Let me pull my right here. Let's see. Open it up. There it is. Let me zoom in. All right. So let's start off in the East, if that's cool. You got yours open?
Well, yeah, I got the brackets open. I don't have the only bracket. I didn't actually do a bracket. I just did it on the ZLA one, so I don't have a copy of it.
So you already did yours on ZLA?
I did. Yeah, I sent it to ZLA this morning.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me get to mine. I'll go.
But I got a couple games while you're pulling that up that I think very interesting. In the first round.
Okay. What is that?
The St. Mary's Grand Canyon game.
Yeah.
In the West. That's a 12-5. There's always upset in 12-5. Although I kind of think St. Mary's can make a run. Grand Canyon won some games last year.
Okay.
So I'm saying just watch that one. I think that has all the makings of could be one of the best games in the first round, in my opinion. Who else is out there? New Mexico, Clemson. I think New Mexico is more than capable of beating Clemson in the first round. Moving on up
to the East side.
This will be the first time I think seeing Auburn and Yale in the same sentence together.
Yeah. Oh wow. Well, there it is.
Sorry. All right, go ahead and let's talk your bracket.
Okay, so looking at the East, right? So that's the way I've got it. I'm just because I have to on different ones. What do you think about the first round when you look at Drake and Washington State?
Man, I think it's a very intriguing matchup. Drake, not the rapper.
No.
It looks like, once Tua got his dreadlocks in, Tua looked like Drake a little bit.
He did a little. Yeah.
Yeah, so Drake, Washington State is a game that Washington State should win. But you know what? It's not played on paper. It's played on the hard court.
Yeah, so here's an upset that I have. And the only reason I looked at a couple of different people that are pretty good at picking these things, you being one of them, but we haven't talked about the Drake-Washington State game. I mean, it's just kind of on the radar. And I thought maybe there's not going to be a huge 15 seed upset, right? So I've kind of moved past that. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But Drake's a number 10 and Washington State is a number 7. And there's the Tucker DeVries. He's a huge player, and his dad played in Missouri. They won the Missouri Valley Tournament in Indiana State. So I mean, he's kind of a legacy guy. He's a big time leader. And so I looked. I think I've got Drake right here. Or I do have Drake. I've got Drake winning this game, and then I move over to the West region. Hold on. Move over to the West region. Then you got Nevada and Daytona. Is that right? Or Dayton? Excuse me. Dayton. Who do you like in that game?
In the Dayton Nevada game?
Yes.
Again, I think that's a toss up, but I am going with Dayton.
So, Nevada, they've already won a tournament, right? Mm-hmm. They won the what's that tournament at the first of the season? The Diamond Head Classic or whatever that deal is. Is that what it is?
Something. There's a few of them.
I don't know. I've got Nevada again. I've got a number 10 seed winning again. I got Nevada winning this. And that could screw everything up for me. But I've got them winning that game. And then you go to the South region. What about Colorado and Florida? That's a pretty.
Man, Colorado could easily beat Florida, or Florida could blow them out by 30.
So, Florida is going into the tournament, I think, with a ton of momentum, right? They've been a sleeper this entire year. Everybody slept on them, and then these guys have gone in and have turned this thing around. They've beat some big-time programs, have blown some big-time programs out. Florida is a big-time program, but now they're trying to get back on. I think this coach there, what's his name? He's a Billy Donovan type hire for Florida, right? A young guy, somebody that could be there for a long time, high intensity guy. He's a big skills guy. But when you go in playing a team like Colorado, I mean, they beat Boise. That's a
Tough team.
Huh?
That's a tough team.
It's a tough pick. I'm going to go Florida, but I think Florida wins by maybe 3. I think it is I think it's a tie game all the way to the end. So you got Florida in that one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What about Midwest region, Sanford and Kansas? That's a key game that I like.
Man, I just don't see. I mean, Sanford plays really good basketball. That's the 4th team from Alabama, right? That's everyone talks about. You know, Alabama, Auburn, UAB, and Sanford. And Sanford's the most expensive school in Alabama to go to.
So who do you like? You like Kansas or Sanford?
I like Kansas.
What about the mojo that Sanford's got right now? I mean, they got some stuff. Huh?
You can't spell March Madness without Kansas.
I know. And they got the
I don't spell very good, though.
Number 4 seed. I don't see Sanford beating them, but I think the first half, I think Sanford goes in at halftime up. But I also think that Kansas comes back and they have the deep depth on their bench to be able to go further in this game, and I think they pull away towards the end of the game. But it's not going to be a blowout by any stretch, but I think the Sanford fans are going to be really, really happy at halftime and feel like that they can win. And they may. They very well may. But is Kansas lining up and playing like the Kansas teams of the past? They're not.
No.
They don't gel together real well at times. They get discombobulated. They kick the ball out, and one or two of these guys try to run their own offense and leave everybody else behind. So I think that's still a game to watch, in my opinion.
Sure.
Those are my top games to watch right here in round 1. What are yours?
Yeah, my top games in round 1, we talked about one of them is St. Mary's Grand Canyon. I think that's going to be a great basketball game. I think the Alabama-Charleston game, look, Alabama cannot play defense, but they score a ton of points. So I think ultimately Alabama gets that victory and moves on to round 2. But I think there's going to be a few minutes in that game that Bama fans are going to say, what the crap? Charleston they got nothing to lose, right? They're a good basketball team.
Right.
Going over to the South. I got to look at this bracket. All right. I'm going with a 12-5 upset.
Oh.
I'm going James Madison over Wisconsin.
Really?
James Madison over Wisconsin in the South. I think they're, Wisconsin's coming off a huge victory over Purdue. So I think they're an emotional high. And James Madison is a solid basketball team, and I think they knock Wisconsin out in the first round. Going down to the Midwest bracket, if I got to circle one, Gonzaga better be on upset alert against McNeese State, another 12-5. But something's telling me, man, that Oregon's going to upset South Carolina.
What is telling you that?
Could be indigestion, man. It could be, because I've had some issues with this virus lately. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I don't. I mean, very well can happen. I'm looking at all these different games. It could. I mean, I don't
Hey,
think
and
I don't think there's. Go ahead.
Duke better pay attention for Vermont too.
Really?
I'm telling you, Duke better pay attention. Duke's the kind of team that can make a run to the championship or lose in the first round.
Oof, ouchie. Ouchie. I've lost.
All right, you ready for your Final Four?
ABC.
Who's your Final Four?
ABC 3340 took over my page. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get back. All right, let's see.
Who was your Final Four? Start with the East.
Hold on.
I think the game of the East comes down to the Sweet 16 matchup, who I personally think UConn Auburn in that game.
Really?
That may be game of the year.
Very well could be. Here it is. Okay, sorry. I had 136 pages open on mine. I think
I
somebody.
tell you who else could make a little run in the East, Jeff, is the Stormin' Mormons.
The Stormin' Normans?
Mormons.
More.
The BYU. The Stormin' Mormons.
So you think they could do it?
I think they can make a nice little run. I'm not saying get to a championship, but they can surprise some people.
Okay. All right.
Very good 6th seed.
Doing that?
All right. Who is Jeff Underwood's Final Four team? Start with the East.
All right. We're going to go to the East, and I think that you're going to have. I think you're going to have Iowa State. And then we're going to go down to, is that the West? Would that be the best one? Obviously,
Yeah, West.
They would match up with Iowa State. I struggled with that big time. Because then you got my favorite team in there, which is Alabama. You got Baylor that's playing very well. And then you've got, obviously, North Carolina that right now I think is probably everybody's favorite other than yours. I don't really know if that's your favorite, but
Well, I think North Carolina is schizophrenic.
Why do you think that?
Well, ask NC State about
it. Yeah, that's true. So you think they're great in moments, and then in other moments they just fall.
I think they have a team that can certainly win the whole tournament, but they're not typical North Carolina. They seem to lose against some teams they shouldn't lose.
Really?
Just my opinion, which means zero.
I don't think your opinion means zero. I think your opinion means just about everything, especially when it comes to sports and me. I think that I got to have somebody like you to help me in that. So let me get back to my bracket here.
So you got Iowa State coming out of the East, which is a solid number 2, and Iowa State's playing great ball.
Yeah. And then I've got North Carolina in the West. And then this is where your matchup is, I think. I've got, is it the South? Is that where I'm going? Hold on a minute. Let me get over here.
South and Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, South and Midwest. So everybody, you got Houston's got the number 1 seed right there in the South. And then you've got Florida that's got great momentum and they're playing well. And then you got your boys that I think you can't sleep on. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on them, and people are sleeping on Duke, right? I don't know why I like Duke. I haven't picked them to go to the Final Four, but I've got Duke. They're going really far, or I say far enough. And then you got Kentucky, and I think Kentucky is doing just enough. They've got some crap together, right? I mean, they're I don't know. They've got glimpses of glory, as I like to call it. So I've got Kentucky coming out of the South, and then I've got obviously everybody. I don't know who doesn't have Purdue going in from the Midwest region. I think Purdue breezes through the Midwest region. I don't think maybe Gonzaga or Kansas, whoever comes out on top of that game, I think could give them the biggest threat that they would face. But I think Purdue goes in. So that's
All right. So your championship game, right now, your Final Four is Iowa State, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Purdue.
I think Purdue is going to be in the finals, obviously, and then I'm going to hold on. Let me get back over here to the other screen. I think without question, in my opinion, I think it's going to be a North Carolina Purdue matchup, and I think that's going to be a huge deal. And I think Purdue comes out on top.
They're playing,
but still,
okay. I like it.
What is your?
So I'm gonna go a little backwards here because I so struggled with the East. So in the South, there's some great basketball going on there in the South bracket, but I'm going chalk on that one.
Oh,
I'm going Houston to come out of the South.
Okay.
And in the Midwest, I certainly have Purdue. Again, I'm very chalky in this tournament. So two of my Final Four teams, Houston, Purdue, both number 1 seeds. And in the West is up for grabs for me. I could see chaos ensuing in that West. But I am going to go Baylor coming out of the West.
Okay.
For no reason other than there's no way in hell I'm picking North Carolina.
No. And I know that frustrated you when I had him in there, but it's okay.
No, very good. So coming out of the East, I think the lower half of the East bracket, I think Iowa State is probably hands down the favorite.
Yes.
So I think an Elite 8 matchup between Iowa State. I'll be honest with you. I did 2 brackets that I submitted. One of them has UConn coming out of the East. One of them has Auburn coming out of the East.
Oh, wow.
And this one today, I'm going with Auburn coming out of the East. So I'm going to have so my Final Four: Houston, Purdue, Auburn, Baylor. I have Purdue and Auburn playing for a national championship.
Get out of face. That's awesome. Okay.
And I have Auburn winning the tournament.
Get out of here. I'm filling out a second bracket because in my mind, I think it could be UConn and Purdue.
Yes, UConn. Look, if I didn't have Auburn winning this, I think it's a special year for them. I would have UConn, Purdue for the championship.
I'm filling out a second bracket.
But this one is, we'll do that one during the Alabama-Auburn show later today.
Okay. All right. We'll do the second bracket. That's good stuff, man. I can't wait. What time does it start today?
10:30.
10:30 this morning? Okay. So we got to get
Hey, so Clint, just mind your business and hug your loofah. And so Clint has Alabama winning the national championship. Actually, no, he's got Alabama in the national championship game against Michelob Ultra, and Ultra wins the national championship.
So who? Mickey win it? Mick win it? Is that what you said?
Mick Ultra is going to win. Hey, O'Brien.
Oh my gracious!
So yeah, I got War Eagle, baby.
So you really? It's not because you're now a new Auburn guy. You think they've got a team that lines up well enough against everybody on their side of the bracket?
I do.
Them to the championship game.
I think it comes down to them and UConn, and if they can somehow beat UConn, top to bottom, I think UConn's a better team than Auburn, right? I think that doesn't always matter. Defense wins championships, right? Defense wins championships, and everything Auburn does is predicated on their aggressive defense. And Broome is playing out of his mind. So I think there's going to be some matchup issues. The big guy would be taking some threes from up top, blocking shots. They get to running. And I think Auburn proved in the SEC tournament that they know how to win. They know how to compete. They're starting to get better and better. They're very aggressive. With that being said, because I picked them, they'll probably lose in the first round. I'm sorry, Auburn.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm of the opinion you picked them because you knew Rick Neal's watching. And that you're going to go fill out your bracket right now to pick Auburn.
No, hey, my 2 brackets already turned in.
You already turned them in. So all you got to do is the link there, folks, is in the description or the comment section on Facebook. I'll throw it over on YouTube as well for you guys there. You just click the link, and it's very easy to do. Especially you can do it on your phone. And they've got it formatted. You just click them, and you got it going on, man. It's quick. Jerry filled his out in probably 5 minutes. So after he did,
I did both of them in 5 minutes.
2 hours of study before he clicked that app. Stay tuned for the rest of the day. We've got some things going on through Kapow. We'll be posting things for you. We'll try to pin that to the top of our page there on Facebook, so you can be reminded of that all day. And we may share it or maybe at followers or something so it stays in your feed. Then we've got the Alabama-Auburn show coming up this evening that'll drop for you. So we're excited about everything that's going on, man. We had a great show yesterday. Go back and watch it if you didn't get to watch it. We talked about everything under the sun today. Super fun, in my opinion. Super fun. Yesterday and even today, it seems like the views on live, like yesterday, it showed 1 and 2 the whole time, but it is true. Matt pointed it out to us, and we went and researched it, and a ton of people that do live streaming didn't have the live views. And the reason it was, and one of the statements was, it wasn't pushing certain shows out. So maybe we're one of those shows, I guess. We probably shouldn't talk about some of the things that we talk about. Maybe we need to be politically correct, Jerry.
Well, here's what I'm going to ask. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the show. We need your help to grow. Not asking for money. Unless you're a sponsor, come on in. We'll talk to you. But if you could please just like, comment, subscribe, and share, it'll be much appreciated. You have no idea what that means to our families.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. J-Dub, I'll see you in just a couple of hours as we...
And just like Lou Holtz always does, my pick, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Always. They don't even have to be in. He's picking the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We may even do the Alabama-Auburn show live today. Who knows? We'll figure that out as we go. So, all right, guys, we love y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. right here on the J&J show. And Jerry is going to have some more theological